Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Kick is going. X is not going. Let's try that again. Not a big issue, that one fails. Low priority of all of my streams. Yep, oh well, looks like X can't be streamed to today. Not a big problem. Like Twitter or Twitch is going. Oops, and I did the wrong string for Rumble. Let me restart that. There we go, and that should be going on up. I should take time to delete it then. Okay, Rumble should be booting up now. There it goes. And looks like everything's online. Give me another moment to turn on my chat windows. Oops, that's the wrong button. There we go. Refresh that because that was from the previous game. Or from yesterday. And looks like everything's good to go. So, I'm just grab a drink from your ride. And let's go ahead and get started. I do have a handful of replays on a text document to do. And let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the north side as the Red Brenner. We got Bench Warmer number 2. Spawn on the south side as the Turquoise Gauge. We got Sixel. This map is not a fog war map. It's also a little bit dusty, but that does not make any difference. No random weather. This map does offer 3 bases, 2 temporary airports already pre-capped in center, also a seaport here which has limited capability. We've got shores here preventing movement, so not good coverage by the port, just some coverage. When it comes to the COs, Brenner is slightly nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, standard radius, only has 1 expansion zone at fully maxed out. Standard CO power costs, and provides all direct units, plus 10% offense and 30% defense. Of course, he still provides a plus 3 healing restoration. Gauge is buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60, and there's a bit of a list here. All units in the CO zone gets a standard plus 10, ground units and naval units get plus 10% defense. Indirect units and naval units get plus 20% offense, so even direct fire naval units such as cruisers should get that plus 20% offense if I'm reading that correctly. Additionally, all CO units, so the CO loaded unit itself gets plus 20% offense, so he can get super powerful artillery and other support weapons, but anything the CO unit loaded, he loads up into effectively gets at least plus 30, plus 10%. As well as if it's a ground unit, so it gets plus 30, plus 20, so he's actually pretty good as a duelist CO while he will support indirect units. His superpower does provide all that globally, all seal units in the field get plus 20%, and indirect units get plus 2 maximum range to go along with it. Anyway, let's go and get started. This map is relatively large and dusty. Triple bases, 1 airport, with some potential naval play. And it looks like player 1 starts with a weighted infantry there, so allows him to get a bike on the first turn. If I read that correctly. Infantry. Gage did immediately start catching the seaport. That's just probably just for the income. This Burner has done the same. Nice little capture order there while the bike charged towards that city. This bike in comparison cannot range the city. Moving this one off the side, that should be good. And do have an early artillery piece put out by Brenner, not by Gage. Maybe it's something that's just cost right. Can't say how effective the early artillery piece would be. Got a recon here by Gage. He may load himself up there. This map, remember as well, his CO zone does not affect indirect units, just direct units. So he loaded himself up into a bike and a rig. Okay, what is going on? Brenner is not playing standard, to say the least. I can understand early artillery piece, but loading a CO unit into a bike, pulling out a mech, and getting a rig. What is he eyeing? Is he going to try to open up a lane for a battleship by pulling on a temporary seaport? All he needs to do is plant it right there. Let's see what he does. Battleships are quite expensive. I always forget though, each game is drastically different. 25,000, so it's still the most expensive unit in the game, of course. Every game is just like absurdly expensive naval units. Aircraft carriers are more expensive battleships than Dual Strike, right? It's like 32 and 30, or 32 and 28? Something ridiculous. Good shot there on the infantry unit. He is building temporary seaport there. That would do absolutely... Wait. Why is there a second rig? Why is there a second rig? Gage has loaded himself up into a anti-tank, so this thing has currently plus 70, plus 50% firepower, so incredibly powerful, as well as durable units, even more durable. Why does Burner have 2 rigs? So he's forward deploying mechs, okay, very nice. He's found a rhythm for quickly deploying out mechs. Mechs have the same firepower as tanks and battlecopters. Why is there a T-copter? I have no idea what's going on. I was going to say mechs counter everything, but they get countered by everything. But 2 APCs and a T-copter, what is going on? Brenner has gone for a good number of artillery pieces here. Anti-tanks, I can't remember how resilient they are versus artillery. They have a weird typing when it comes to resiliency, where they're somewhat vulnerable to infantry, while also being equally as vulnerable to tanks, which inherently is not good. T-copter moving on the left side, so Brenner's going for mech play? Kills off that unit there. Battlecopter, 8 here. Those are quite unstable. And bike and infantry. Gage does have a battlecopter here. And he's also bought his own rig. And a Gage battleship could be incredibly powerful. Brenner is trying to deploy a naval port there, or a temporary port. That would open up a lane for his opponent. That maybe just using the rest of his turn and getting a partial deployment there. But if they both deploy. If there's a seaport or temporary seaport here and here, there will be full traversement of naval. We would actually see. He fully does deploy it there, and that's more advantageous to his opponent right now. Because there's still this blocker here. This only opens up the naval path for Gage. What is going on? Good strike there. Battlecopter's heading down south the winter. Tank. Another battlecopter and tank. He has 47 bike and infantry. Brenner right now has 13 energy in his bar. Like that's 17 now. Brenner has a good defensive line there. But it's only good at defense, and he does need both his infantry units to stay still there, so can't push for the capture this one. He can capture the start capturing with that one. Gage has gone for a rocket, which will help zone out the artillery piece. As much as I dislike seeing rockets, but that could be a good way to force Brenner out of that region. And we got that's going to be a full temporary seaport. Brenner's going to be eyeing for a battleship or some sort of naval unit. Anti-air there. I don't know why. This just seems unusually, the blue, I think, is a little bit too off-putting. Temporary seaports didn't look like this, right? In the cartridge? Or did it? It just seems a little bit, too blue. Maybe... I don't know. Something on this tile could be done to make it a bit more blended, because this feels out of place. It feels like a placeholder icon, honestly. Got a duster here by Gage. Brenner did pull back his rockets there. Anti-tank pushed way forward. He will capture that property. Got 22 for 25, so Gage has more income at the moment. Both sides have a duster out. And mech infantry unit. So, we do now have the naval path completely opened up for both sides. Brenner could start eyeing for a battleship. He may need to emerge in order to get one out this turn. Maybe just get a little extra income just to store on up. If Gage spawns a battleship, then Brenner could pull out a sub. Subs do course start out dive. However, it wouldn't be quite clear he's went for a sub if his money went down, but he sees nothing in the field. There's no fog war. And it saves it for nearly 5,000 funds, so that will give him enough to get a battleship out next turn. Infantry and dusters move forward, but this duster is a little bit forward, but there is anti-air to retaliate. Gage's rocket moving forward. This will easily force Brenner out of this region. And of course the HQ is right there, so he can't fall back too far. Trying to flip some properties here. Brenner's command bike as well. Will get some good power charge here. May get close to a superpower. Anti-air can't range the battlecopter. Anti-air could strike the anti-air. This falls back entirely. Duster can Gage Duster. Mech. Battleship this turn. Mech, so no battleship this turn. Battlecopter infantry. He has 7,000 funds, so he can get a battleship out next turn. Gage can also go for a battleship, which a Gage battleship, a CO-loaded battleship, would be the king of the seas. Good shot there. Getting some good hits there. Brenner's at 46 energy. Command bike will not be hit this turn. Units prepping to push forward. Nothing to engage this anti-air here. The mechs are out of range. Brenner's turn. He should be able to get enough CO power charge this turn to pop his CO power if he so chooses. He has enough for a superpower. I don't know if he'll go for it. And there's the battleship. He gets damage on his own units and then pop his power to get 3 health regen. Does not pop the 3 health regen this turn. Battleship will help him equalize this region. Gage's rocket is out of range and Gage is nowhere near enough to get a superpower, and he's in the corner there. Can't generate maybe at most 10 energy this next turn. So the battleship will be able to zone out the rocket now. And Brenner's being hyper aggressive. He's going to eye for his superpower next turn. Will not be able to reach the command bike. Get some good damage across the line. But going for pot shots and everything, not necessarily great. Or of course he will get that regen. Everything sort of skimmed around the edge of the shore. The battleship can range everything here, so one of those units may go down. Anti-air, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Will we see the superpower this turn? Gets the kill there. As regular infantry unit there. Gets a strike. He may try to get a bit of damage from his forces. Good damage there. Well, he started capturing before Papa's power, so he may not be on Papa's power this turn. Making good gains on the left side. Yep, he has not gone for a superpower this turn. You now have a cruiser to help patrol the sea to protect this battleship for the battlecopters. Recon, infantry. Now we've got a battleship here as well. Making good progress. Put a lot of damage and interrupt a lot of captures. Chance for a superpower next turn, so likely. I'm curious how much value will store. Right now it's at 182. So it looks like just a lot of infantry is mostly wounded, though the Duster did take a good hit there. Brenner's turn. I'm curious what the battleship can range. Mechs. But the battleship's rotating around to the battleship. Good shot there. Looks like it's not going for superpower this turn. Traps the Duster there. Sorry, flip some properties. Good kill there. No infantry's will be ranging the HQ to start capturing it. And now Brenner has 182 on the field. Gage has 167. And Brenner still has his day-to-day income. Though Gage does have more day-to-day income. Just overall taking more losses at the moment. Anti-tank, infantry, gunboat. Gunboats can traverse through shore, so we'll provide a quick response to get a first strike onto the battleship and help even out the fight. And even if Brenner doesn't take a first strike there on his and receive a first strike on his battleship from the battleship, he can at least heal it up by 3 health. rocket and anti-tank push its way forward. That rocket has plus 30% firepower, plus 30% defense at the moment. Trying to flip some properties, very nice. Infantry, medium tank, duster, and infantry. Artillery strikes some outlying infantry unit there, and finish off both of those. Recon interrupts the capture. Battlecopter does strike the battleship, softening up, at least going to drain some funds from Gage. Trying to flip some properties, puts around the battleship, so now it does have a bit more permanent damage. Capturing up multiple properties there. Another battlecopter strike there. Does not finish off the battlecopter just yet. Does finish off there. Now Brenner has multiple infantry units, can start capturing the next turn. Gonna start the base race, though this battleship can range the HQ. Battleship's also sort of pinned there. But most dusters can go, battlecopters can go down the duster, but the anti are in the region. Medium tank also in the region. Takes the duster there. And the rocket get a great strike there on the artillery piece. Lots of good kills there. Strikes the artillery piece there, leaving both artillery pieces wounded. He needs to finish off, does finish off the 1 health one. Does easy get it back up to 4. Though a lot of stuff is now ranged with war tank and the anti-tank. We could see the superpower next turn. Pops it immediately. Battleship strikes battleship. Gunboat strikes the battleship. Property HQ capture has commenced. Even gets on top of the airport, and the battleship has been sunk. Brenner's just trying to push forward. Don't think anything here can range the HQ infantry. Now they contact up there. Get some good strikes on various everything. Gage can start capturing HQ next turn. Has some forces nearby interrupted. There's a bit of a choke point here, so the anti-tank right here is going to be very in good position there. Nothing to really knock it out. And there's Gage as well. Wait, Gage had a superpower already as well? I was not paying attention to that. Oh yeah, he had a superpower available. That is actually quite important. That allows him to get +2 max range, ends his turn, and I think it was basically a forfeit there. Is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. And I did not realize Gage had a superpower, but it was simply not enough. Nothing could arrange that infantry unit. Brenner just simply won the game. Not that button. Actually, this replay may not be that good. This map is quite large, so it tends to be inflated, but no, let's do it. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on top right side as the turquoise, not Isabella, Lynn. We got Mr. Cat. Small on bottom left side as the green, more olive draft green Hawk. We got Skylar SK. Of course, Hawk is technically a custom CO, but he is also a character from previous games. Boarding costs 50 to radius, has a 30, 70, 120 CO expansion, so a very big power bar there. Twice as big as normal superpower and power. And of course has a maximum injury of 120. It gets the for Zeo Zone plus 20% offense plus 10% defense. Effectively, it is the default plus 10 with his day-to-day passive from previous games, which was plus 10% offense, so that's sort of more or less how that came about. His CO power is Black Wave, provides that effect globally, restores 1 HP to all units, and minus 1 HP to all units. It does cost 50, so this is cheaper than normal superpower as well. And of course, we got Black Storm, which only costs 100, while the max CO Zone energy is 120, so he can get a little bit extra charge going for further powers and superpowers. And of course, does do plus 2 HP rather than minus 2 HP, and make a CO Zone global. Lyn is, of course, nerfed. Actually, no, she's the same, isn't she? Unless she had a nerf or buff. It's actually been a while since last cast Lyn, hasn't it? Either way, plus 50% boarding cost, 1 CO Zone radius, 30, 60, 60. Has plus 10% offense and defense, so standard CO Zone effect, and all ground units get plus 1% offense and defense as well, making her so she can get a small group to punch forward pretty well. And of course, she does get the Lyn vision effect, get plus 2 vision range, and see through hiding places, so the Sonya effect, really. Yeah, when's the last time I actually cast Lyn? It's actually been a while, like at least a month or two? I only started casting Days of Ruin about a month or two. Hawk or Lyn's immediately going for the factory. You don't have to immediately go to the factory since how costly infantry are. Since they do cost 1,500, means right now both of these players only have enough income for deploying 2 infantry per turn. But Lyn should start eyeing to capture up a factory. Or Hawk should try to start capturing the factory last turn rather than going to the airport. But either way, there's probably some exact mathematics. I just can't not doing it right now because I don't feel like doing it right now. You now have a bike one field, and does do a base skip there. Bike. Okay, so Hawk has a precise build order here. Very nice. You have another bike there. This map is also hard to make wheeled vehicles get out of your base. They have to go through double shore, and in Days of Ruin, it's equal to plains for wheeled units. So not great. And then you got a forest there, which even slows them down even further. So slow for wheeled vehicles, reasonable for tracked vehicles. So this map is a good map for a lander. Recon, infantry. Hawk did store up 3,000 funds in the last turn. He has 11,000 right now, so maybe battlecopter infantry, maybe tank. Oh, T-copter. This map is good to get a early T-copter to capture these outlying cities as well as the backline port. I forgot to mention as well, there's also 6 ports on the map. 1 safe in the back, 1 forward, 1 in the middle, which is also still pretty safe, and 1 off the sides, which is contestable, but also unlikely going to be pulled out at any point in time. Tank infantry. So we got the first tank now on the field. This map is quite large. There's also a pair of comm towers. Tank, T-copter, infantry. Both sides have not seen each other just yet, but it looks like Lyn is being a bit more aggressive in the center. And now Hawk has sealed into a regular tank, which makes sense. Lyn will probably do the same right here. Here, infantry. So both players loaded a CO into a tank, starting to push the way forward. And we do have T-Copter here applying for the seaport first. Does get trapped there. Tank infantry. It does get the first strike there, so first kill of the game. Lyn seals them, of course, very small. She's able to put a lot of pressure onto a single point, but it's hard for her to generate any sort of CO charge since can't get any sort of extra one from just nearby units. Well, that tank is pretty souped up, 55 plus 55%, 5% of course from a comm tower, so let's just say plus 50 plus 50. And Hawk's command tank has pushed forward. Lyn's recon easily spots everything here and hidden away. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Lyn's command tank does get a nice, easy pick there, giving her plus 10 energy. Also, she has claimed the central city, so even if she does receive a bit of retaliation, it looks like she won't though. She will at least get a bit of repair going up afterwards. And Lyn's making a lot of early picks. Right now at 90,000 versus 75, so it looks like she's getting pretty good advantage. Trying to flip that city there. Good kill there. Does get trapped there, just a bit of recon pass. Good strike there. Anti-air tank. Good strikes there. Looks like it does get a bit trapped. Anti-air pushing up north as well. Right now, there's only one battlecopter field for both sides. And looks like, of course, this has not pushed forward left or right, but does see the anti-air down there, so probably should send the battlecopter over here. T-copter heading down south, and maybe on for these cities now. Does push down south, so she probably feels confident picking off that anti-air. Get some good picks there. Decides not to engage the recon there. Trying to be a little bit safe is probably a good idea. And overall, say a good call. Hawks right now at 27 energy. Lyn's still just at 10. And this command tank has pushed forward. And will be in range of Hawk's command tank. And will be able to get a good strike onto this regular tank as well. So Lyn's in a great position. What? Fighter? What? I understand dusters engage battlecopters, but fighter? That is an expensive investment I don't think will pay off. Fox at 28 energy, Lynn's at 46, so she gets her +1 CO zone. Very good. And did take out the anti-air here. Hawk is going to rely on this battlecopter to strike the battlecopter. And right now it can... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think it's going to be just short in reaching that battlecopter. Even if it had a clear path. In this case, it doesn't. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. Good kill there. Good strike the command tank. Battlecopter strikes there as well. Got 53 energy. Won't be able to pop their power until next turn. Fighter pushes forward. And there's a good chance that Lynn should be able to take out that command tank. She does have her own command tank, a rotor tank, and a battlecopter nearby. Battlecopter won't get +10/+10, but still a battlecopter of +10/+10. Here strikes the battlecopter. Battlecopter strikes tank. Oh, didn't see the other one as well, so that was an easy pick. Now she has 60 energy. She can pop her CO power, getting a lot of good hits there across the front line. And the fighter cannot go in because the anti-air nearby. I suppose Lynn or Hawk can't get a fighter to strike the battlecopter and then the tank to strike it. He has gone for a bomber. Is he going to seal the bomber? I don't think that'd be a good idea. That'd be immensely expensive deployment. And bombers, the problem with loading the CO into an expensive unit, you have to spend this turn just to pop the power or superpower. So I don't think it would be a good idea to load the CO unit into the bomber. It will nuke everything, that's for sure. Yep, does not load it up. Does strike the battlecopter there. Or the anti-air takes up the battlecopter, but now this anti-air will strike the fighter and do at least, what, 6 points of damage? Then you got the +% aura, I don't know how much damage it will do. Now it says +40, +40. Let's see how badly it will go. It will take out half the health. Oh, got rolled a pretty bad luck roll. Down 51. Yep, rolled bad luck. But still, I suppose black waves can easily help heal it up, but still, there's no seal unit on the field. Hawk has spotted 2 medium tanks out last turn. That's going to be slow to reinforce, which may be not a good thing. I think battlecopters and tanks would probably be a little better. For all these medium tank, for example, will take 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's sort of a reasonable movement. Here, tank. Fighter does fall back, bombs away. Anti-air down to 1 health, and there's another anti-air over here, but the bomber's going to reign supreme for now. Seals the medium tank, which I think is a good call. Lynn has a superpower. Hawk right now has 130,000 field. Lynn has 129, so Lynn has a pretty sizable advantage right now. And immediately pulls a fighter. The first thing turns like, oh, there's a bomber, fighter. There's also another fighter in the field that's wounded. So the fighter's going to have multiple good targets and then follow up with any other battlecopter kills. Pike, infantry. Hawk's turn. Good strike there. The problem is Hawk has nothing left in the front. He needs some more tanks up there. Maybe anti-air as well. Fighter heading back to the airport. Brings back the bomber. Yep, with the anti-airs lurking around, which somewhat they are. Just this one primarily right there. Gotta be a bit safe. 8 health is probably the good health for the fighter there. Don't worry about going all the way up to 10. It's going to be expensive to repair it as well. He does have the T-copter spotted, so he knows where there's an possible infantry unit is. Helicopter recon tank anti-air. Meeting push way forward, gets a bit of damage there. Looks like the fighter's out of range of fighter and the bomber. Tank flare battlecopter. Does get trapped on the command tank. A lot of stuff nearby to gauge it. Then right now it's also at 30,000 versus 24,000, so she has a sizable income advantage. Fighter rotates down south. Battlecopter tank infantry tank. Takes out that infantry in there, giving Hawk some power charge. Fighter creeping its way forward. Does get the infantry unit up north, but there's a lot here that's going to disintegrate. That tank's going to get double tapped, or at least the anti-air is hidden at the moment. Good shot there, and anti-air gets knocked out. Hawk has pretty much nothing up here. Infantry could be a little T-cop and try to go forward and capture something in the outlying structures. Lynn's position down here is quite firm. I do believe her position is far, far better. And now she does have 211 on the field, versus Hawk's 14-1. Oh, 141, blah. Does get trapped there and there. Oh, that stuff's gonna die. Medium tank infantry anti-air puts the flare on top of the airport. Making some good headway down south. The medium tanks are quite effective, but there's a good chance the bomber's gonna be knocked out by the fighter. Or it gets to put some rounds there. There's the bomber with the anti-airs. Now the fighter can strike the fighter. And Hawk's flank over here is just disintegrating. here, Battlecopter Infantry Tank. Hawk's turn. These lost quite a bit. Sax's Fighter. Hawk has enough for power. Don't think he can get his power up. He can fall back, deploy his Black Wave on his command tank. One global damage would be quite effective. That's going to pop it. And ends the turn. Of course, he does now have plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense global. Command tank goes down. Good number of medium tanks still off in the field. The problem is there's a lot of stuff there deployed up by Lin. She's also still holding on to her superpower. She could try deploying it next turn in order to reveal everything. Hawk right now is down to 77,000 in the field. Lin is at 195 and still has a day-to-day income. So they have more than $100,000 worth or funds difference on the field. And Hawk has resigned. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Now that button. Let's see. Yep, this one. And you know what? Before I actually get started, I'm going to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the south side is the blue Tabata, we got Pepe Popo. On the north side is the green Hawk, we've got Yoshi Rider. When it comes to COs, Hawk is technically a custom CO in Days of Ruin, has standard boarding costs, 2 radius, has a 30 expansion zone, 30, 70, 120 for max energy of 120, twice the amount as a normal CO. All units get plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, has a power costing 50 energy, making it cheaper than other superpowers, giving him plus 20% 10% offense, defense, globally, and of course provides 1 health healing, minus 1 healing, effectively back Black Wave, and Black Storm is plus 2, minus 2 at 100 energy cost. Since he does have a max CO zone of 120, he can store some charge a little bit left over. Tabata is of course same as the Karcher counterpart. Standard boarding cost is 0 radius, 30, 60, 60. Has the plus 6% offense defense. And of course she has that Sturm Meteor as a superpower. So, somewhat fitting to fight against Hawk. Either way, her CO zone, how it works since it has 0 inherent radius, and she goes from a duelist to something to be a wall break and then an army nuker. She has a bit of a design path, which is not exactly clear, but can be very nice. This map is quite dusty. It also does support 3 bases, 1 airport, 1 seaport, and both players do start off with a couple temporary ports instead of the map for a forward resupply and rehealing. If you want to make some naval play, there are some shores here preventing movement. Here, here, and here. So you cannot send ships to your opponent's side of the map. You can send some boats in the form of landers, gunboats. And that's it. There are no other boats, right? But ships cannot traverse and hit your opponent until you draw 2 rigs and open up the path. 1 rig over here can be half bad, help traverse your side a bit more. Putting a rig here will help you police the entire flank. You have a recon quad by Hawk as well as by Tabata. Going straight for the radar station there. Really wants to make sure she has good map vision. Just note the fact this is of course not Fog of War. We do also have this prop, it looks like Skip there. Radar stations do offer 3 defense stars and they still provide income, so they are still quite nice on this map as a defensive point. Though no forward repairings, right? Command tank now put in field. And of course got Tabata's possible command tank there as well. Bike infantry. Pulls back the unit there. Recon strikes recon. And there's Tabata's command tank on top of the city there, so she does get strike. Not only is she basically bulletproof, because plus 100% defense, she will able to really retaliate and get repairs there. Hawk's command tank moves on the left side. Okay, is out of range. Just have to double check that. Though the bike there may be in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Both those units are out of range of Tabata's command tank. But the infantry unit could be picked off. But would be in range of an anti-air. So she's going leftwards. Battlecopter and cooler in the field. Tank. And double base skip. Do have 15 energy for Hawk right now. Very nice. No anti-air to engage that battlecopter. But Tabata should be able to outrun it and start gunning down some of these nice, juicy targets. This battlecopter may need to get over here to provide some escort. Another battlecopter there, and battlecopters coming over to support the command tank. Good strike there. Preemptively interrupting the capture by 1 turn. And a bit more since I had to take time to fire. Strikes the radar station. Gotta be careful when sending infantry forward towards the top of the command tank, but sometimes you just gotta push forward because being held back the entire time is not good. And nope, spam bot. I feel like I only get spam bots nowadays on Twitch. Does strike down the battlecopter and does not pick off that unit, which may have been a bit of oversight because she wants to pick off units entirely because now she still take 2 more turns, possibly up to 2 more turns just to get her +1 CO zone. So we do got a good strike in the battlecopter. She may have rolled some bad luck when hitting that bike. It is a 3-star defense property. Does body block there. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter, but they got the battlecopter here to retaliate. So I'm thinking the battle tank will fall back, hit one of those units. Battlecopter strike the battlecopter strike the battlecopter. You have Tabata's tank straight forward, another tank there, very nice. Go ahead, 2 tanks versus just the 1 command tank. Does not finish off the battlecopter there. Of course, does not finish off there as well. Gets a nice little pick there. 29 energy, so 1 more energy, and she will get her +1 CO zone, making her far more dangerous. Looks like Hawk got a bit more lucky there than his opponent. Gets a good strike there. And the bad luck is getting pretty bad right now for Tabata. Property has 10 capture progress remaining. I'm going to sneeze. My apologies. Oh, she has target rich environment in front of her, so she should get her +1 CO zone. But she is trapped there, and the battlecopter here still poses a threat. That's the only threat in the region. Do bikes have more defense? I wonder how that bike survived. I guess bikes have more defense, I didn't even know it. Some good picks there. Has +1 CO zone, which now this CO zone could be used to support hit that infantry unit there. And once she gets +1 CO zone, she rapidly charges power. Because another unit getting +60, +60 that means 2 sources of lethality. And here did finish off that one battlecopter. So Talbot's command tank is still have free ram left side. Talbot's in a good position over here as well, having 2 tanks. She has 92,000 in the field versus 67, so Talbot has a pretty good advantage versus Hawk. What would be quite nice for Tabata if she were to take out that infantry unit there, and then this command tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go right there, strike something, then another unit could push forward even further, but sort of lacking for that other unit to be around. So maybe just pulling back the command tank a little bit, don't bite it off more you can chew, just push forward a little bit. Great strike there. Even takes time to try to machine gun down that anti-air. Good strike there, anti-air. Anti-air battlecopter tank. 25,000 versus 24 now. Trying to do a flip. Still one property left, despicable neutral. And will be interrupted. Talbot's at 45 and she's getting pretty close to her superpower. Decides not to get power charge there. Right now it's 15. She'll effectively have to get the power charge during her turn. As it's such a small radius to be around, it's easy to play around against. So she needs to charge forward, survive the turn, and then launch her Firestorm. It's effectively a nuke. Tank, battlecopter. Now Talbot has a pretty good core force here. Tank. Hawk's command tank will be fully repaired. He does have a decent amount of energy so far. Trying to flip that radar station. Tank. Good strike there. Takes out the anti-air. So Hawks or Talbot's making great gains over here. Strikes Hawk's command tank, as well as a supporting tank there. Artillery piece gets in the range, and the command tank will not be able to escape on out of there unless something breaks through along the side, which there is a battle copter for that. Oh, looks like she's at 55 energy now. She's pushing forward. Feels safe enough to push for the command tank. On 0 stars defense, but still has plus 8% defense in total. And if Hawk needs to keep a unit away from this aura, because if he leaves you nearby and gets picked off, it will give her 60 energy, and she can launch her nuke. There's the black wave. It pops it immediately. Also gives him plus 20%, plus 10% global. Tabata may get her nuke this turn, but her tank, it's hard to actually get on top of those squares. No, pull back the battlecopter. Yeah, she's going to launch her nuke this turn. She can launch her nuke. I'm just going to pause right there, pull back the battlecopter or sack it. And then the anti-air to strike, the anti-air should give her, yeah, with the plus aura benefits, she will get it. Just only gets 4 damage done. Sacks it. She can manipulate where the Firestorm lands based on killing everything in high densities. Though she is going to miss out on the global plus 60, which she may just try to save that till next turn. She is fighting against plus 10% defense this turn, which can be easily overcome. It's a lot of good kills there. Okay, she does not pop her superpower this turn. Now, missed on C, so she couldn't. Oh, wait, that's not traversable terrain there, wasn't it? Oops. I'm an idiot. I thought that was traversable terrain. Alva's command tank could go down this turn. You got 2 tanks and the artillery piece there. Yeah, that maybe did Tabata command tank. That would be a bit of a loss for Tabata. Can she get it? That thing is pretty durable. Or can Hawk get it? Yep, it's down. Ooh, he can breathe a sigh of relief. Good shots in the battlecopter. Sacks that battlecopter there. Tabata may load herself up with another tank or maybe battlecopter. A lot of stuff there. It does load herself into a tank. She will need some bit more support, I think, on the right side or left side. The right side, she's doing great work. Does not take out Hawk's tank there. Has 9 energy, so picking it off is not high priority. There's actually probably a bit of argument there for Hawk to sack his tank so he can reload it somewhere else. Tank, battlecopter, recon, tank. Tabata right now is 103 versus an 89, so she still has a slight advantage. Pulls back to does go ahead and load a CO unit, or merge onto a CO unit. Definitely much cheaper than trying to probably the best course of action, because it would give him a bit of refund and save him the cost of reboarding. And also be immediate. Tabata still has a good number of tanks here, pushing the way forward. Anti-air can't range the battlecopter at the moment. Does not take out that battlecopter there, has 2% health. Medium tank got a pretty good strike there and falls her on up, has 27 energy. Good strike there. And that's what Tabata's command tank got trapped there again. She got stuck like a stepsister. does have, of course, the battlecopter nearby for some fire support, and does get broken out there, so she can escape. Just have to avoid the artillery piece overall, I'd say, so maybe put the command tank on top of the radar station to get 5 energy from that bike. She's only at 8 energy, so it's a fractional. Oh, or nukes the anti-air there. Good pick. Of course, this command tank could be hit by a battlecopter and perhaps a 5 health battlecopter and 7 health tank. Though we do have another battlecopter and anti-air for fire support, as well as this one here. Good strike there. Oh, I didn't see that one there. Wasn't paying close enough attention. And the command tank goes down as well. Honestly, dust, top to load up into a dust wouldn't be half bad. It'll help new infantry units and the battlecopters. And there is a fair number of battlecopters on the field by both sides, so dusters could make an appearance relatively soon. Or just go for a battleship and see what happens. Capita does have 2 tanks here in the anti-air to strike this force. Does load herself up to another tank. Battlecopter and battlecopters. Anti-air interrupts the capture. Does not take out that unit there. Takes out that unit. Interrupts that capture. Tank. Battlecopter bike. Good strike there. Anti-air battlecopter goes down. Oxygen can drop Preservance Forces. Does not have enough for a superpower just yet. Now, or power. Now has access to a power for next turn. 1 health global regen actually may not be half bad. A lot of stuff is just slightly wounded. Not to mention 1 global percent damage there, reducing his opponent's force by at least 10%. There's some good strikes there. Gets a good strike on the artillery piece. Command tank from the left side again. Takes the battlecopter. Finish off the artillery piece. Anti-air. Tank, battlecopter. Does pop the black wave again. Does pick up a good number of units there. At 109,000 versus 88, so the back down with he still has sustained the income as well, so Hawk has started to take advantage, has good core forces over here, and has a pretty dominating force on the right side as well. However, will need to take some actions to equalize. Going for a firestorm could be very useful, but then again, when is a firestorm not useful? And here it does not go down. The extra bit of veterancy does help out. Battlecopter does go down there. Tank. Tank. Good shot there. Here does get a good strike there. Man tank. Hawk is getting some more energy charge there. Medium tank at efficiency 2 as well. And this medium tank is almost out of ammo. I apologize for my drink open up. Battlecopter, medium tank, infantry. So Hawk's been deploying a good number of medium tanks, and he's been quite successful with them. Good strike on those forces. There's a couple battlecopters here, which definitely does have a pair of battlecopters as well. Medium tank getting fully surrounded, also giving Hawk a decent amount of power charge. He's off that unit there. He's off that one unit. And since the battlecopter took time, just sort of stood there engaged, probably should move around, hit there, so the battlecopter hit there from the side. Puts around that medium tank, so the medium tanks are starting to be picked on off. And start 113 versus 90, so Talbot's starting to turn the game around. Sacks the medium tank there. She's at 28 energy at the moment. A lot of explosions this turn. Talbot's command tank does take a shot there. And goes down once again. Sacks the medium tank on the bike, but bleeding veterancy towards it. Getting some good kills in the center, takes out the battlecopter there, strikes up north. Hawk's command tank does take some severe damage. Nice little merger at 36 energy. No other support here, so it looks like maybe one strike here. I don't think we'll get a superpower next turn. Don't see 14 energy being squeezed out, or not superpower, just regular power. Lots of good picks over there. Talbot's command tanks on the region, but there's a lot of infantry there to give a power charge, as well as not many healthy units in the region, though he does have a good amount of efficiency on those units. Hawk does fall back his tank, no merge there. Makes the merge next turn. Try and flip multiple properties. This one should be interrupted by this infantry. This one will be interrupted by the command tank. This one will take an extra turn. It's already interrupted. Takes out the anti-air there. Battlecopter pushing on the left side, so Talbot's gaining decent combat force over here. At 85 versus 92, both sides are still pummeling each other. Now got an artillery piece down south. So kind of neat thinking battlecopter here. Good amount of capturing infantry for all this infrastructure. It looks like Hawk's just going to brace for defense here. He could pull an anti-tank there. There's not too many capturing infantry, so this probably should be safe for a bit of time. Talbot's right now is 28,000 versus Hawk's 24,000, so you can't really even afford to forfeit even one property at the moment. Anti-air infantry battlecopter. And Hawk Talbot has a duster. It looks like Talbot is not really on the push forward, trying to secure the properties and go for the longer game, which is probably a good idea. Also allow her to start focusing on supporting her command tank, try to get that charge going. Good strike there. Also prevents the medium tank from really retreating across this leftwards direction. Talbot has actually deployed a battleship here. Don't know if that's a good idea. It's expensive, it's powerful, but it's also limited. Needs some rigs to open up the map. They strike on the infantry in there, and now she has +1 CO zone, allows her to get a boosted strike there. Now it's at 40 energy immediately. A CO zone, it gets expanded like that. She may get enough power charge for a Firestorm next turn. Probably won't be able to deploy it. Will not be able to deploy it. But she's getting pretty close to a Firestorm. Got now tank, battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, bike. Right now, Hawk doesn't have too much congestion force. It's at 86 versus 146. So the biggest problem of top of the seal power would be the fact that it would be plus 60 global. And Hawk does have enough for power next turn, which will help dampen possible Tabla superpower. And Hawk has now deployed a bomber. Battleship strikes the medium tank. It also strikes battlecopter infantry, gets knocked out. It's the anti-air. Nothing reaching to stop the Hawk's command tank. 9 energy there. And it gets 56 energy. Couldn't get 2 kills. Hawk just needs to stay out of this aura in order to prevent any sort of energy bleed. Can't let Tabla deploy out a superpower on her terms. And because that bomber will be, well, the bomber supposed to carry nuke will probably be nuked by the Firestorm. That's probably the highest. I think her, oh, there's the superpower. I'm pretty sure her Firestorm follows the same principles as Stern's Meteor. We're going to switch between the value, the HP, or the indirect meteor. It's not guaranteed to always do value. Granted, those terminology is from Meng's, but I think it's the best way to describe it. And 59 energy. He wants the Firestorm to land. That was a horrible idea. There's a huge congestive force. This is a Firestorm. Have the tank attack the tank. She will get the 1 energy she required, and then launch the nuke. The nuke landed there. That appears to be the HP meteor that struck, or the HP Firestorm. So this entire flank has disintegrated, leaving the valuable stuff in the center. But she still has plus 60% global. That's actually the more dangerous part than the meteor strike. The Firestorm. Now she can nuke everything. She fired a nuke. Her units have fired nukes. Granted, this area is a bit of a choke point, so hard for the advance, that's for sure. And the power did interrupt some captures. 1 capture progress remaining. But the thing as well, she can push far more aggressive than she normally could because of the plus 60% defense. Hawk's turns at 81,000 after repairs versus 155, 19,000 base. So he has about at most 100,000 ended this turn versus Tabla's 149. Couldn't even take out 3 health Pike there. Tabla's command tank is here at 9 health, which is still perfectly serviceable. Meteor goes down. Battlecopters knocks out the command tank. That's a max vet tank there, falling back to a city to get the repairs guns. Wouldn't be half bad. Everything else here can't pursue. Hawk went for an emergency mech here for the defense. Tanks creeping the way forward. Artillery in range on the medium tank, trying to ward away everything. Got a defensive anti-tank deployed in the field. Duster, bike, anti-air. Seal's the anti-tank, so that thing's going to be a little bit more durable, a little more lethal. And green has resigned to Zangrade, saying good watching, and on to the next replay. Oops. I'm trying to hit F10, the standard exit game button for RTSs. But this is not a starter RTS. And in fact, not even RTS. And let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. It's on the right and left side. It's one of those weird split maps. It has the red gauge. We've got Luzhik. No idea to pronounce that. It's on the north and or south side. We have, as the green Isabella, we got Yoshi Rider. Let's see now, both COs. Isabella, of course, is slightly nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, does have 50% boarding cost to 30, 60, 60, 20% offense, 10% defense, and of course does get plus 2 movement range for superpower, as well as plus 1 max range for indirect units. Gauge is buffed from the cartridge counterpart. We do have the 50% boarding cost to radius, 30, 60, 60. CO Zone provides plus 10 for all units. Ground and naval units get plus 10% additional defense. Indirect units and naval units get plus additional 20% offense, and the CO unit itself get plus 20% offense. And of course, when it comes to superpower, all that also applies globally, and of course get plus 2 max indirect range. Either way, let's get started. This is one of those weird split maps, so it's going to be probably a bit of a chaotic map. This is also more or less a hybrid map. We've got 2 seaports here, which are both capable of fighting each other. But it's a very small pond. But you can deploy battleships here. It's surrounded by reefs, the shores. I don't know if that means anything. Reefs do have 2 defense stars, while the seaports do have 3 defense stars. Like bases or factories. Now, right now, just trying to keep an eye on any sort of units. We do have 2 column towers down south, relatively close by each other, split, of course, symmetrically. And do now have a bike, double bike this turn for Isabella. This map is... wait a second. I actually realized something. This map is heretical. It has no airport. When's the last time I actually cast a game that doesn't have an airport on the map? No, seriously. I cannot think of a single map I've ever casted in both Days of Ruin Tiny Wars as well as Advanced by Web that did not have an airport. Heresy. Either way. Let's see, now we do have a gauge tank on field. He may suit himself up in a tank. It will have, what, plus 30% offense, plus 20% defense. Of course, does have the max out veterancy and all that sort. And Isabella's now a tank as well. Does CO, does get a good shot there, has plus 50% attack, plus 7% defense, so he gets more. But then again, 3 defense stars from the 4, so it's plus 50, plus 40. So this map is going to base with no airport, which means battleships are actually a bit more of a possibility. The same reason why I say battlecraft is much more common in 2 base maps than 3 base maps, because you try to deploy more ground units than air units. In this case, you only have 2 bases with no possible airport battlecopters. There's going to probably be some naval units. In this case, battleship will zone out the port. Then Sub will take out the battleship, and then cruiser would be necessary to stop any sort of sub-performance. So you have to place this cruiser next to the sea point to deny it, and battleship to ward away any indirects that may try to hit the cruiser. But there's also some shores here to prevent the camping of the seaports with the land with a cruiser with a tank or 2. Gauge now gets at 34 energy. We do have a medium tank and a regular tank here, so Isabella's probably going to be loaded in the medium tank. Gauge has to put out a anti-tank and artillery piece there. Now, Gauge is 13,000 versus Isabella 20, so Isabella's doing far better in capturing order. Okay, he's going for much slower anti-tanks, but of course very good. Got the anti-tank and artillery pushing up over here. And with the RD-34 CO Zone energy, if you get superpower, these guys get +2 range. And right now, the anti-tanks with the CO squad is plus 35% offense, plus 25% defense, though granted both sides have a column tower. Recon Rocket by Isabella. Her superpower does provide +1 range. She's currently 0 energy stored on up at the moment, though. Wait, that's a shore tile? Apparently this is a shore tile or beach. Does take out that unit there. Medium tank, command tank, and EP tank push way forward. So looks like Gage's going to try to push out everything here, going for a quick capture of this base there. Isabel may need to get anything of her own over here to help stabilize this region, because this is quite a bit of a threat. Her tanks are still on the left flank. I just can't really contest that. I think it's going to be anti-tank. War tank. So yeah, this is a shore tile. There's only 2 sea tiles. Everything else is shore there. Medium tank does strike medium tank, and the anti-tank is already trying to lock down that base. This is not looking good for Isabella. She has 3,000. She has more income, but now she's going to have entire half of production locked down. That's not good. Mech there, so we're going to try to break out from mech spam. Man tank does a good strike there. Takes out that tank there. She has a possible flanking opportunity there. Has 27 energy. Gage is at 49. Don't see a wave. I suppose it might be possible. No, I don't think there's a way for him to pop a superpower this turn, because any action will basically require his to get the max out power charge will require his command tank. Strike there, so he has access to his superpower now. It has a very good core of artillery pieces there. Isabella falls back those tanks. F +1 CO zone radius. The thing as well, this anti-tank is in range of the medium tank with the superpower. And right now, this anti-tank's in range of that war tank. Next, a strike there. War tank does fall back. Is it enough? Superpower? Yep, superpower. As mentioned beforehand, anti-tank's in range. This tank's not in range of the war tank. Only in range of just infantry units. Same thing with the artillery. Let's see, what else is there? He has an artillery piece there. Not in range of anything. It's supposed to try to get some rockets to zone out this base, looks like. This artillery piece is also in range of this of that medium tank, but it's probably a good idea just to move it off. And let it be finished off by something. Oh, no, does take a shot there with the artillery piece before that shot there. And anti-tank gets on top of the base, so he has locked down half of Isabella's production. Even though Isabella had more income, she has now lost a critical asset. She's 103,000 in the field versus 91, so she has a value deployment on the field. Problem now is she has to smash and grab this space there. Her CO unit's up there as well, which is a very good CO power. +2 movement range and +1 indirect range is very nice. Merges onto the command tank, but I think I have a feeling that Gage will be able to take out this tank here. The medium tank's in range, so is the command tank, so yeah. Yep. Isabel's tank. Oh no! Does not take it out, but it's effectively. Let's see, this is at 8% health. Yeah, this 1% HP unit might not be able to open it up. I don't think a max luck roll would do, because that would be... Yeah, max luck roll would do 1% extra damage. Rockets push way forward, and now that base is really locked down. Submarine upon the field, and everything died up there, and it would live happily ever after. The end. We do, of course, if Gage was paying close attention on Isabel's blunt, should realize there's a sub there now. So now you have to counter out the sub with a cruiser. Got a shot in the tank. Okay, let's see. Battles of course 25, subs of 2,000, so that would be a 5,000 gain there. But did do half damage there, so in the end, not too terrible loss losing the battleship to a sub. Just a loss about 1,500 because this is 7,000 divided by 2, so 3,500 damage. Or a suspension of 20,000 unit, 1,000 fun unit to take out 25,000 fun units. So, yep, that'll be only about 1,500 down the drain, and still can do a little bit more work there. So, it will be cost even. Isabel's ready to start capturing up this base or factoring next turn. And Gage trying to flip some properties down south. Does have the artillery range of the infantry unit there to start interrupting even further. And there's a cruiser on the field. Goes to the kill the battleship, and the sub will go down. And the cruiser is definitely a bad response. Now he has spent money onto a cruiser to take out the sub, which means it's going to be a permanent loss there. Though, you don't have to worry about bombers striking it. It does get a CO zone energy there. And Isabel can take naval initiative by deploying out a battleship. Got now a rocket up north. Though she can't afford a battleship next turn. Nor can Gage. Base has been captured, so now it's 2 bases to each other. 17 units versus 15 units, so they have similar numbers of field. 115 versus 123, so she still does have a slight advantage as well. Goes for anti-tank down south. Seaport does offer 3 defense stars, so it's a good position for any sort of unit to take. Anti-tank, good spot for anti-tank would be on top of the forest, but the problem is the rock is warding it away. Can't move there either way. Does hit the range of the rocket. Rockets push the way forward. Both sides have 2 rockets up here. Got another rocket up north. And there's a lot of terrain to move slowly, so this is actually maybe a good map for rockets. They'll move slowly, everything moves slowly, and there's no battlecopter to strike them. Got a recon here for a bit of a mobile unit to help arrange some stuff. Possibility that one player could try, if they were feeling really cheeky, aircraft carrier. And pull out seaplanes. Seaplanes are the only way to probably break the stalemate up north. That tank is in range of the artillery piece, trying to get as much energy charge as possible. Rocket's starting to get a bit low in fuel, so maybe a rig. Now I'm thinking about something as well, rig, Brayfield, APC, or rig and temporary port to blow out seaplanes, and with a superpower and power. So it doesn't have to be seaplanes, he can blow out battlecopters from temporary port with his power or superpower. Tank, infantry. Both sides just entering a bit of stalemate, though the rocket here is within minimum distant range. This medium tank could charge forward, hit the light tank, but it would be in range of the artillery piece. Got a massive indirect line here. I think Isabella will be able to claim both its comm towers if Gage forfeits this region. That's not good. That could give her +10 global. Down south is much more important than up north. And Isabel has pulled out a battleship. Gage does not have enough for a submarine this turn. Cruiser does push into the map, does go for a gunboat. Isabel right now has 20,000 income, Gage is at 18. Right now, Isabel does have more than half a map, just need to take time to capture it, but with double bases, it's hard to pull out infantry. But going for more naval units could be a good way to spend your money. Take an extra turn to capture the comm tower. Gage does currently have both comm towers, so this is quite nice. The cruiser went down one shot to the battleship. Gunboat has one shot before it's, well, has only one ammo. Let's see, can the gunboat range? No, cannot range the battleship. The reefs are on their way. Ooh, forward deploys an infantry unit there. Interesting. This also does open up a little bit flank there. Irina has 17,000. Isabella does have 5,000 banks, so she could get another battleship in the field. And that could be hyper deadly over here, because Gage is starting to push down south. Going for a second battleship could greatly stop this area. So I think double base skip into a battleship could be a good call. So I'm trying to flip some properties there. Drops that capture there. And she does just strikes the medium tank there with the battleship. Double battleship will also start allowing her to smash rockets one at a time as well. Got a war tank and artillery piece over here. She's trying to edge towards the base, but there's a good amount of indirect fire. Gage is at 60 energy. Pops the superpower. Now that was probably a bit of a miscalculation by Isabella. Now he has a superpower. Strikes the anti-tank there. Strikes the war tank. Yep, getting that superpower to pull on the field may spell the game over for Isabella. Getting hit by all these bonus range or indirects. Everything's getting tapped. She only has the 34 energy, not a way to get her own superpower on the field. Gage now has 233. Now I got this force push way forward. Gage will not be able to dive the HQ. I'm curious about something. Nope, gunboats can't traverse on rivers. Because right now I was wondering if this was traversable, then a gunboat would be able to transport a infantry down to HQ. But this is a river, not a shore tile. Rockets push the way forward, tank falls back, trying to reorganize a line. Some of these units are getting pretty low in fuel. Trying to make a breakthrough over here. But all the indirects got a pretty good hit on her. Gunboat's trying to lock down the battleship and also cause quite a bit of ship damage there. Artillery piece now able to range the battleship. And everything's now pushed forward into the range of the battleship. That seems like a game over for Isabella at the current rate. At this one time, she needs more battleships. But that's, of course, a pretty tall order in order to get asked to say, build more battleships. Mech. Macy, no, she does not have enough for anti-tank down south. Really trying to push down south, trying to stop this breakthrough. Now the battleship's going to be hit significantly by multiple units. Yeah, Isabella right now has 117 versus 223. So she's going to be double value against her. And when you get to double value against you at this current point in time, there's nothing much you can do to get back in the game. The opponent has to be literally throwing away air units into a missile in order to come back. Tank bike. It's pretty hard to throw away air units into a missile when there's no air form in the field. Or missiles. Gage just get +1 CO zone, anti-tank there, but will get double tapped by anti-tanks itself. Good strikes there. 49 energy, possible CO charge deployment this game, or this turn. Looks like not though, but everything's pretty much dead either way. Got now a battleship here at 54 energy, so good chance it'll be a CO power next turn. And then he can easily do another long range strike against his opponent. War tank infantry. Gage has a superpower available. Probably pop it immediately. Battleship strikes rocket, rocket strikes rocket, rocket strikes war tank, artillery, and tank. This base can start being flipped. rig and tank. He actually does need the rig for resupplying and refueling. Isabella's turn and resigns. This Angrade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, do need to use the restroom again, please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. I have time for one more replay tonight. I have 2 replays in my X file. Let's see which one's better, the 2. This one is 19 turns. And this one's 31. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Age of Empires, Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. It's on the left side as the red... is that Tubbo or Penny? That's Penny. Something I have trouble seeing the turn to up there. It's on the left side as the red Penny. We've got Kaze? No idea. It's on the right side as the purple Calder. We've got Tisho. I have pronounced that as well. Either way, when it comes to these COs, any of those, of course, the standard boarding cost, standard 3, 30, 60, 60, as, of course, provides plus 15% offensive defense pool of units in CO zone, and all units outside of CO zone, as well as inside, does get unaffected by weather. Anderson Power causes 3 turns of random weather. It may not seem like much, but she's actually an A tier or S tier CO because she can chain weather, and effectively weather is 3 turns of a superpower of how effective weather can be. Calder, of course, is slightly reworked from the Karcher counterpart. Has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 0 expansion, 0 energy, and of course every unit inside of his CO zone provides plus 25% offensive defense and plus 2 healing per turn, though it does consume funds. No power, no superpower. Let's go and get started. This map is relatively large. It appears to be a triple base map, double airport with a seaport, another seaport there. So this map is quite large. There is a good number of shores down here, so this map is not a map for battleships. It's a map just meant for lander play and mobility play. Additionally, both players do start off a city in the corner, so it does warrant P players to go into the corner first. Bike there, bike there. There's a pair of uncaptured temporary airports inside of the map. Once you get those, you get a forward place to resupply your aircraft. There's this double shore there, so that's perfectly traversable by land units, just that the wheeled units don't move all too well on shores, like planes. At least in Days of Ruin. Transporters by web, shores are no different than roads and bridges. In Days of Ruin, a lot more tile sets, a lot more variety in tiles and what they can and can't do. As with some changes, cities no longer provide 3 terrain sources, just 2. force no longer fight 2 terrain stars, just 3. We now have artillery piece up north, while Calder's Blood tank, which may be command put Theoden to the side of it. Nope. Anti-air infantry. And Penny has loaded herself up inside of the bike. Mr. Bear is in sidecar. Man the machine gun. The 3 expansion zone, it's pretty easy to get her power charge up and going. And maybe we should take time and just show you what random weather will do. Or what our superpower will do. So if she pops a sandstorm for 3 turns, your opponent has minus 30% offense. That is massive. Snowy, all your opponents do is get minus 1 movement, which is not too bad, but can be quite significant. Depends on your opponent's composition and current positioning. And Rainy, this can be horrible in the case of not Fog of War maps, since you tend not to get flares out unless it's Fog of War. In this case, popping Rain will completely blind the opponent for 3 turns, where he has to stumble in the woods while you have still quite reasonable vision. Tanks will still see 3 for Penny. Tanks for Calder will only see 1. I generally think Rain is far more powerful than not Fog of War maps because of that aspect. Flares do still have same effect, but you don't build flares unless it's Fog of War. Though flares actually are decent combatants. That feels weird how well they punch above their weight. And he now has 4 energy, not too much at the moment. Calder's command tank could strike Penny. Nope, Penny does fall back onto that city there. Calder now has 20,000, Penny has 19. Got an artillery. What? Triple artillery? Okay, that's interesting. This map does have a good number of mountains here, so artillery has quite a bit of cover. Hopefully he doesn't roll Rain, because then they will be shooting blind. Tank, battlecopter, mech, infantry. So both players are ready for a big clash in the center. Calder charges forward with his command tank. Anti-air picks off the infantry unit there. Calder doesn't really care what unit gets loaded into a CO his CO unit is, because it does not have to worry about any sort of CO charge anyway. So bigger the better generally, but weaker is not a bad option either, because it'll be cheaper. For repairs. Penny may need to lead a counterattack. Could get a decent amount of power charge this turn. Just need to position the command tank in a good, smart position. Maybe on top of that city there. Needs as much power charge before repositioning her tank. 20 energy. She could get her superpower charged up this turn. Mech sacks itself. Strikes Calder's command tank. And yeah, like I said, Penny just got her superpower charged up. Whether or not she survives this next turn is another matter. Calder's command tank, ooh, see a bit of repairs there. 76 if the CO unit moves back a little bit. Yep, she's done. So no CO power this turn. She needs a CO power to really get an edge for 3 turns. Battlecopter tank A tier and base skip. Calder's command tank does go down, but the battlecopter is already on top of the HQ. You can seal the battlecopter next turn and get straight into the fight. There's strike there in the tank. Tank does go down. A tier does take a pretty good hit there. A tier goes down. Good gains there by Penny at 119. Calder starts turn from 99 with 22,000 bank, so they're turn even. Does seal the battlecopter as expected. There's some these units, outlying units. Calder now has 27,000 versus 22,000, so does have much better income, or day-to-day income. And he could does seal herself into another bike, cheaping out on the CO unit. Calder's trying to flip a profit down south and greatly increase the income difference as well if that happens. Gain some energy charge there, join caps. Get some good strikes there, but does go in the range of both these artillery pieces, so that's quite bold. Takes up the Calder command copter, but got another battlecopter on top of the HQ, so it can be sealed there. Maybe should have left that 2 health. Good shot there in the ATR. And this AT tank is going to be slow rolling forward. Medium tank, infantry, battle, or light tank. Mech is good strike there at 16 energy. Makes some good hits there. Strikes the capture unit there. Takes the tank there. Good strike. Artillery piece gets a good hit. Lacking some tanks here overall. Your amount of ATRs, though, with amount of CO'd battlecopters, the ATRs make some pretty good sense. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. Mobile battlecopter is quite nice. It is quite a bit of distance just to get to the combat zone. Now I got medium tank and anti-tank in this region. Let's go drop out some outlying units there. Got 97 versus 91. So Calder's on pull ahead. Tank. 35 energy for Penny. Possible seal power next turn. Actually, I think she will get her superpower this turn. She needs 25 energy. There's 10, 18, 23, 31. Yeah, she will get her superpower this turn. And this will give her the edge she needs. Needs 7 more damage. And there we go, superpower. What weather do you think she'll get? Post comment in 3, 2, 1. Sandstorm. So that will neuter Calder's forces by 30% firepower for 3 turns. And not to mention, for this turn only, she gets plus 15 as well. If she get enough supercharge easily enough to get another superpower by the time this sandstorm ends. This is where the power of Penny is. She can start chaining weather. Her first superpower is the start of a snowball. It all depends how well it goes from there. Calder's command copter does a good strike there. Interior, tank, infantry, artillery. Sandstorm's usually always good weather to get. Snow and rain's situational. And sometimes those situational ones are very good situationals. Calder has a nice little death blob, but good amount of artillery there as well. Of course, she's now weak at this turn, having one less 10% less fire offense defense. But she can still get some good amount of power charge this turn. Picks up those units. Strikes out the command copter, does not take it out. Down to 8% health, so that one health infantry unit will not be able to take it down. Already at 30 energy. And leaving this alive means he will spend funds on these units being repaired on up, but they won't be too impactful. The artillery piece, however, got a really good strike there. Lots of good kills there, and Calder has to put out a full fighter. Don't think a full fighter is going to be too... the amount of battle cars in the field, I think Dusters would have been a little bit better. Anti-air, anti-air, anti-air. Okay, I think Calder's panicking a little bit too much to take on the aircraft. I think Dusters would have been fine. Maybe go for 2 turns of Dusters. Let's take out that unit there, 39 energy. And there you go. Penny has no super power available. She can probably pull back the bike just to make sure it stays safe. The sandstorm will will end at the start of her next turn. Do know as well, Wastelands or Ruins only provide 1 defense star. They're not good defense terrains. It's no different than a plains. In fact, they have the same traversement as a plain. Yeah, don't overvalue Ruins. Calder COs the fighter. At that point in time, you really should have CO'd the Duster, because the Duster, CO'd Duster is still very good at taking out battlecopters. Though in this case, the sheer overpowered in that case, not to mention spending all the money COing the fighter itself, will help overcome the sandstorm. And Penny should probably pop her superpower this turn. What weather? Rain. In this turn, she has no fog of war, I believe. But Calder's going to be completely blind. He's going to have trouble hunting anything down. He has 1 vision range for all of his units. Anti-air gets a good strike on the fighter. Next 2 turns, Penny will still have to deal with the Fog of War, but her units will have completely normal vision Fog of War, which means tanks can still see 3, battlecopters still see 2, but this is Calder's vision range. Absolutely abysmal. Even the fire can't, if vision range gets quenched. The cities have 1 tile can only spot on top of itself. Oh, and the damage in the fighter is going to be repaired on up over time, so it's going to be very hard to deal with, but it's going to be expensive repairs over time. Yeah, I really think he should have gone for Duster. Penny's turn, you can see here, she now has normal vision range, which is still perfectly adequate. Barring around here. And it definitely affects her. It is a little bit double-edged sword, but one edge is clearly more sharp than the other when this double-edged sword. Because right now, Calder can't see this tank, nor this tank there. Does get a strike on the anti-tank. It will be repaired up by Calder's CO zone, but just simply drains a decent amount of funds there. Right now, 120,000 versus 96. And it's still going to be 2 more turns of rain that Calder has to deal with. Let's take out the command bike there, so no more chain of weather. It probably needs to be sealed in this tank there. Maybe it's bike up there low as well. She's been sealing bikes. Tank mech anti-air. Does seal the bike there. does get trapped there. This ATR should get a good shot at that battlecopter. Fighter should have good vision on some of these battlecopters, so some of these battlecopters will go down. Another tank, anti-air, and battlecopter. Does get trapped there. Pretty good trap. So the weather will end. So Calder can start seeing and start actually making more proper pushes. And the fighter's still going around uncontested. The anti-airs are very far behind. They just now got the point field, so Calder's fighter is doing work. The rain has now subsided. He has 103 in the field. Calder has 106, so Calder's did quite a good job of braving the storm. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry, anti-air. He does have another battlecopter himself to hold in the field. And now he can play around the anti-airs. He knows his fighter still has free reign of the map. Can't strike either battlecopter of impunity though. This anti-air is in range to retaliate. Does decide to take a shot there. It has pretty good defense still, and plus has a bit of a buffer of everything. But looks like the anti-air will strike the fighter if the tank just pulls back. Does sack the tank there. We'll get some power charge this turn. That's 25 NG. Make that 34 now. So possible seal power next turn. Tank, infantry, battlecopter, tank. Anti-air, battlecopter, and double infantry is there. And Penny's bike does go down. Can't have that weather going for anymore. Calder's doing a good job of keeping that stuff healed. The anti-tank is at 1 ammo, so it does need a resupply. Just probably fall back to the city to get the resupply. And Penny has now loaded himself into a tank. And Penny does have a good core of units here. Anti-airs, tanks, artillery, a good mix of everything. Calder does have a good number of mechs here being pushed forward by the T-Copter, which is very nice. He is still building battlecopters himself. Anti-tank has one shot remaining, either fire or fall back to the city. Does decide to fire. Picks off on those battlecopters, very nice, being hyper aggressive, and use the aura there to strike that tank. But now the anti-tank is dead in the water. There's not enough bodies out of it, and it will run out of ammo. Not a great strategy, but it is a strategy. 116 versus 89, 128. So Calder has a pretty good advantage. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. And got now a spam bot on the kick. There we go, spam bot removed. Penny right now has 34 energy, possible she can pull out superpower this turn. Be a little bit difficult. Actually, not too difficult. She right now also has 82,000 versus 129. There's opportunity she can get out a superpower this turn. 51 energy just needs, and there's a superpower. And Sandstorm, that'll blunt the assault. Calder's in a great position, but this is greatly going to blunt his capabilities. Minus 30% firepower, plus combination, plus 15% defense this turn. It makes it going to be very hard for Calder to push forward. This command fighter is actually running low on both ammo and fuel. Has 1 ammo remaining. I probably was wrong with the command fighter. It's been far more effective than expected. Still believe Duster would be the best call though. And now we do have a Rig to pull on the field, because he actually does need the resupply capability. He could also go for a forward temporary port, though this temporary port has never been captured yet. He would have got that, he would at least had a forward resupply point. But now Penny has 3 turns of Sandstorms to help protect her to let her regroup forces, but she's doing a good job. Even has 22 energy, almost 29 energy, almost enough for halfway there for another power. Battlecopter pushing down south, ATR, and there's also this infantry here. Battlecopter, tank, ATR, or artillery, and infantry. And now Penny's CO zone has expanded. Resupplies command fighter. He eventually heal itself. It's another battlecopter for it to engage up there. Still some units down south, mostly in favor of Calder. Takes out that unit. Penny, of course, lost her command units, so no more power charge. Sears herself into artillery piece, because it's the closest thing nearby. She doesn't have to. It's a cheap unit. It provides a powerful, her not so powerful aura, but a reasonable aura effect. Command copter may go down. Another thing as well, it's also pretty safe unit to pop a studio power whip since it's usually out of range. One last turn for Sandstorms. Manfighter does fall back. Medium tank now advanced. Got a good number of units here, including a couple more artillery pieces to help ward away against it. Anti-air, and the Sandstorm has subsided, so Calder's firepower is back up to full. Get some good picks there. Looks like there's no anti-air down south, or at least there's one there. Rig gets shot up a little bit. And the temporary report still, on both sides, still despicably neutral. And Penny does get 27 power charges her, and very nice. Good strike there, takes out the tank. Fighter does strike that copter, even though it's at 6 health, almost took it out. ATR struck there. A lot of stuff here of Penny's getting wounded. She probably won't get her superpower this turn. She probably needs to use the command artillery piece to fire away. Anti-air will get up 6, so we'll be able to get some good damage from the various air units. Get some good damage, 44 energy. Is she trying to go for the nope, no zero power. A lot of stuff wounded there, so it's going to be eating a lot of Calder's fundings. Anti-air Duster Infantry. Command tank or command artillery piece of light go down this turn. Good strike there. Yeah, Penny does go down again, unable to get any more superpowers going. Calder is slicing through her army. Down 94, 91 versus 111. And of course his day-to-day income, so it'll be up to 130. Try and flip some properties there. And he's turn down 80,000 versus 130. She's down by 50,000. Load seals the infantry unit there. Look, gets a power charge, just trying to squeeze out power charge before any more. Before the next conflict, just trying to get a superpower to help dull this force here. Calder's a death ball CO. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter, tank. Calder only went for tank T-copter last turn. Strikes a Duster for a good amount of damage there. And nothing to really stop the fighter. Meteor strikes the battlecopter. It looks like Calder's getting more and more advantage. 69,000 versus 144. And Penny does go ahead and resign. That was a very good game. Zangrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.